Tuesday's tips and tricks.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Tuesday's tips and tricks. I'm Chelsea.
I'm Nathaniel.
And today we're talking about your pond and this in-between winter-fall stage. So last week we talked about how to take care of your perennials and your shrubs and things like that after the big freeze. Last week we talked about if it looks bad, you just cut it back, essentially, and that's pretty much what you're going to be doing again for your pond. So we'll look at some pond perennials. And what you're going to do with those, especially if they're tall and they got wiped out by the freeze, you're just going to cut them back to the base, and I'll show you how to do that. And then we're also going to look at some water lilies. Some of them look okay, some of them look kind of bad. So, I mean, you can wait until they all look really bad, or you can go ahead and just cut them back now. So let's go check it out. We have some Sagittarius and some, I don't even know what this was, a hibiscus?
Hardy hibiscus.
Yes. So again, got hit by the freeze, it's pretty bad. These leaves are just gonna be in the pond and rotting and raising the ammonia and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna go in and you're just gonna cut it back all the way. Anything that is green is gonna end up being dead later, so you might as well just whack it. Save that for compost. And again, you're just gonna cut it all the way back to the base. And you're done. Pretty simple. So if it looks ugly, whack it back. Even if it doesn't look ugly, it's going to look ugly later. The only things that'll be in your pond that are evergreen are going to be, did you say that, brush?
Horsetail, rush, blue rush. There's some carex, like they sometimes call them blue sedge.
Is corkscrew rush?
Corkscrew rush would be pretty much evergreen.
Wow.
For most of the winter. So late winter, early spring is when you would cut those guys down.
Because eventually you're going to want to have some fresh foliage. So we've got some really beautiful horsetail rush here. These will be evergreen through most of the winter, so you'll want to just go ahead and keep them. So they'll have a little bit of interest in your pond or around your landscape. And then in the spring, eventually these are going to go, I mean, some of these are already going brown. Eventually they'll start to brown. But in the spring, you can go and whack them back all the way to the ground and let them sit out fresh. And it'll be full and it'll happen really fast too. Now we've got some water lilies. And they got hit pretty hard from the past freeze. They look pretty bad. What do you think, Haji? Does it look pretty bad? I mean, you've got some on here that still look decent, but they're just, it's the end of the season. They're gonna start going. And you can wait if you want, but if you don't wanna waste your time, I would just go in and just start cutting them all the way down again to the base. The best thing is to just get it all. So if you didn't get all of this, this would all be in your pond just rotting and making doo-doo and nasty stuff in there.
And there's enough leaves, as you can see in our ponds, that fall in. We don't need to let
We don't need more.
pond plant leaves sitting there.
So, and with these, again, as far as care of your water lily, you're not going to even fertilize, do anything to it until once you start to see new growth in the spring. That's when you're going to start fertilizing and they'll get big and gorgeous. So,
yeah.
So it's pretty simple. If you have any questions, if there's any plants that you're not sure about, you can just comment below and we'll help you out. So that's your Tuesday's tips and tricks. We'll see you next week.